was, I mean, was it Shiloh was kind of talking about the situation with Tyrone? There's a couple of faces
Mhm.
that you were pulling at the time,
Oh yeah, I
Sabrina.
sure absolutely did.
We were looking. I
Absolutely.
was looking at you sideways, girl.
And I wish that they would have showed the part when they were like, okay, cut or whatever. I was like, look, Shiloh, to the point where producers were like, Sabrina, we can't hear you. And I was like, oh, we're still recording, because I wanted to let her know, like, look, okay, so this boils down to me and you in that situation.
Mm.
So when she was saying all that stuff about Tyrone, stuff that I didn't know, I was like, but Tyrone said that he could like marry me too. I was like, he was feeling like that. I was like, this stuff with Shiloh is this. I was like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? I was like, because it was a lot of stuff that was being said, and
So he said he married too.
to me from Tyrone, because remember we had been talking. I'm talking about days and days and a week, and you know what I mean. So as time goes on, me and Tyrone are making this connection, and I'm hearing the things that he telling me, and I'm just like, okay, so you live here, and I'm like, I travel a lot for work. I'm like, when I got to go back to my other home, I was like, you gonna be able to come see me? You gonna be able to do this? Da, 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 da. Like, what we gonna do? I was like, so your daughter is over there. I was like, I'm over here. I was like, you gonna come visit me? Like, how are we gonna work this out? Like, if we're gonna really talk about being together and moving forward. I'm like, because I'm feeling you. You're telling me you feeling me. You telling me, yeah, after I told my, family that you were from Korea, because that's how we, connected. We had
Connected.
that connection was because he was in the military and he was stationed in Korea. And I even think he said that's where he became a man or something like that, and he loves Korean women.
Mm.
Okay. And, he said that when he told his family that, they were like, oh, show over, show over. You might as well, you might as well just let her know, like, you trying to be with her and she's feeling you too. Yeah, like, show over. Y'all just when's the wedding type thing. Like, like, I could really be with you. Like, I could really marry you. I could see myself with you. So he's saying all these things to me, and this was before like the whole everything. So when she was saying all that, and then after all the stuff he had told me, I'm sitting there, and I remember that episode because I remember sitting there with a glass of champagne, and I was like, because I'm like, that's not like was all that crap he was saying to me, was it a lie? Was it just to stay on my line because he's actually smarter than me? You know what
Mm.
I mean? And he's trying to like go to the end, or so it just made me feel some type of way. So my faces weren't towards Shiloh. My faces was, I can't believe this Negro tried to play me. Like, I'm feeling
Mm.
some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I had no problem with Shiloh. I didn't know Shiloh. But when the situation happened where she was saying all this, and it's like, when you're in deliberation and when you're at the women's lounge and stuff is coming out, and they're like, well, he said this and he said that and she said this and she said that, and or not even she said, because I don't know about the men's lounge, but with the women lounge, they were spilling tea. So a lot of these women I didn't talk to on the phone. Like, we weren't cool. So the first time I heard things was at the women's lounge. So when I'm hearing this stuff, I'm like, but I don't want to be like, Shiloh, well, that's not what he said to me. And da 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 da. So I'm just like, I'm going to be real calm and I'm going to be real cool. And when the cameras did cut off, I was like, Shiloh, I need you to understand that I'm not trying to be sympathetic or empathetic towards you. I'm feeling some type of way because this Negro was telling me something different. And it's making me feel some type of way. And of course, I think that was the very beginning of her feeling like, I don't like Sabrina, which I didn't care. A lot of people don't like me, whatever the case may be. But that was the first time I could look in her eyes and she looked at me like, you, whatever. But it
Mm.
wasn't towards her. At that moment in the beginning of the process, that was my first moment where I was like, people out here playing for real.
Mm.
And it made me feel some type of way, because I really thought, and I'm not saying the stuff that Tyrone said to me wasn't genuine, but it's like when you're saying something over here and you're saying something over there, and it's almost the same thing, that's making me feel like you playing games,
Mm.
And I was really upset with Tyrone about that. I was very, very disappointed because I really thought that he and I had made that type of connection. So to hear her say the things she said at deliberation, it was like, wow, no shade to her. It was all shade to him.
So you're saying that the facial expressions in the lounge were more to do with the situation, the fact that you found out information, rather than it being a shade to Shiloh.
Shade to Shallow for what?
I mean, because Shiloh was saying
Because
she had to.
Tyrone wanted her. Okay, so it was like 9 other men or
Mm,
8 other or whatever. I had other connections. Why I have to? First of all, I don't do jealous. Okay, I don't do jealous. I don't do that insecure stuff. Or insecure about what? Shade to her for what? In real life, let's keep it 100. For what?
I mean, because she did have the guy that you both liked, so maybe that's why. You know what I
I
mean?
liked him, but I had other connections too. I had a connection with Phil. I
Mm,
had a connection with Frank, and I had a very strong connection with Walter. So you
mm.
see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be upset from one of my connections that didn't want me? No,
I mean,
no.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's still
Yeah,
possible. I mean, I could, hey, I could have a girl and have another girl and still shade even one if I
yeah,
had more
no,
connections. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well,
You know what I
no.
mean?
Let's put
No.
it out there. No, I don't have
Okay.
any. I didn't have any animosities, anything towards Shiloh. Not at
Okay.
all. Not because one guy picked. That's childish.
Okay. 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 All right. So, okay, that situation concluded. Obviously, Tyron did.